They just got Jalen Johnson out there stat padding. It just kind of nasty to watch sometimes. That's all he's doing out there. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm glad somebody sees it because Mars sees it. It's funny. Like Mars definitely seeing it on the timeline for sure.
Yeah, I heard y'all talking about triple double merchants. Oh, he is definitely on that list right now. I'm watching game. I've literally cut on some of their games. They're down by 30 points, and I'm watching Jalen Johnson run up the court grabbing rebounds. Why is he still on the court? He's doing that a lot. Like it's not one game, two game. Every time I call on the Hawks and they're down by 30, just look at it. Jalen Johnson's on the court, no matter what the score is.
I mean, because if he not, they're gonna lose by 50.
Can we not?
They trying to stat pad so that he'll be an appealing offer for Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's
Ken,
really
what does that
it
mean,
is.
though? You told me about Jalen Johnson, not a good defender. Like, what is that? When the question that I'm asking, if I'm not an all-league defender, does that mean I'm terrible at defense?
Hell no. No, you could be positionally sound but not be good. Like Josh Hart's not great, but he's okay. He does things. Right. He helps. Tyler Kolek not great, but he does things. Deuce McBride's actually pretty good. Honestly, I'm not even judging you based on forget it. First of all league defenders, Amen Thompson, Asar Thompson, that level, Beef Stew, those dudes, that's a different tier. We're not comparing everybody to. Do you say Kawhi Leonard?
Kawhi begs to differ.
Oh, Kawhi begs to differ. No, I don't think Kawhi is a good defender, but I mean that's the conversation. Not today. Not anymore. Not anymore.
I didn't say.
No, I was talking about Kawhi. He said Kawhi begs to differ about those guys who think that they're good defenders. Like,
oh, I got you because he fried them. Okay, got you. But I mean, okay, on an average night, they're pretty good defenders. I think there's like a next group of like 100 players who are just positive defenders. You know what I mean? Like Aaron Nesmith, that level, not all league, but positive. Andrew Nembhard last year, not all league, but positive. Jalen Suggs is like all league to me, But then there's like average to below average system defenders, team defenders. And then there's like maybe 50, 60 players in the NBA that are just awful defenders. You cannot have two of them at the same time on the court because you're going to get fried. And I feel like the Atlanta Hawks have like multiple bad defenders.
And I watched Jalen Johnson really quickly, Ron, and I know we got to move on, but I watched Jalen Johnson and I find him out of position a lot of times. Like
exactly
as a one-on-one defender, he's actually not bad. He can stay in front of a guy, but when the ball moves, he doesn't seem to shift. I'm not going to say he doesn't seem. What I'm watching when I watch him, because I watched the Atlanta Hawks. I watched them specifically because of Jalen Johnson and Dyson Daniels. That's what's been going on for like the last couple of years. That's why I watched him. And when the ball moves, he doesn't shift as quickly as he needs to. I find him out of position a lot of times, which also affects his ability to rebound. And I know that sounds crazy because he'll pull down 16, 17 rebounds, but that affects his ability to rebound when we need rebounds the most. That affects his ability to get into the passing lane and shut off lanes where if a guy wants to swing the ball, especially when we're talking about a team that's back in rhythm and offense. If the ball shifts, he could be in that lane to throw that pass off, which can cause a turnover, something like that. But he doesn't seem to do that. And that affects Atlanta's defense tremendously. So, I mean, I don't think he's terrible at one-on-one defender, because I want to be very specific here, Penn. I don't think he's terrible as a one-on-one defender. I just feel like his ability to shift, I feel like his ability to recognize being in the passing lane and where to be in the passing lane is where the biggest problem is when it comes to Jalen Johnson as a defender.
Yeah, he's nothing special. I mean, he's not overtly positive.
And he should be better. He should be better, especially considering how athletic he is. He should be better.
It's the motor, Chew. I'm about to say, everybody doesn't have that defensive motor to just do that play after play. Some people show it to you in spurts, and then they just kind of just there, like Luka and LeBron was.
If he had Jalen Suggs' motor, I feel like he would be like second team All NBA for the rest of his life.
He'd be a scary player. I ain't gonna lie to you.
He'd be a very scary player, but he don't have it.
That is crazy.
Well, my question for everybody is: are you guys willing to move off of Trey and make Jalen Johnson the new face of your franchise?
I mean, sure. What are we getting back?
And
where's Trey going? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to come up with a bunch of hypothetical trades, but I'm just saying you're going to get something solid back for Trey Young.
I don't know.
They pursue Giannis.
I really like that trade that Swiper came up with that involves Trey Young going to Milwaukee. I would do that. I would.
Yeah.
Yes.
Milwaukee.
Yeah, I like it. I like it
Okay.
for both sides.
Yeah. I would do
Remind
that.
me for who?
It's Trey Young,
Zachary
Ricochet,
Ricochet,
Trey
yeah.
Young, Ricochet, and I think it's somebody else, and like 3 or 4 ones for Giannis. I would do that. Yeah.
Yeah. I would do that too, but I would do that too, but I don't know if Milwaukee would do it. My thing is to Ron's question, would I do that? I would. I think Jalen Johnson could be a good placeholder. You know what I mean, placeholder until we figure it out. Yeah, no doubt. I'm not mad at that.
When you building a
keep in
team,
mind-
though.
I was just going to say, hold that
Go
thought
ahead,
right
Ron,
quick, chill.
I'm
I just
sorry.
want to throw in. Remember that they also still have the Pelicans pick too, which
They
could
do have the
be
Pelicans pick.
anything. It could be 1, 2, 3, late lottery, mid lottery, however. So keep in mind that they do have that too. You trade Trey Young, you're going to get some draft compensation, and you're probably going to get a good player as well, or two.
See, Penn, where the divide is between you and me, I feel like when we're talking about drafting, because I know you're a draft guy, the idea is always to pick the best player. And
Sure.
I've always felt like when you establish your franchise with your franchise player and his specific skill set, and I'm going to build around that. So if I got a guy like Jalen Johnson, and if he's my guy, Ron, right? Jalen Johnson is my guy. I got to build around Jalen Johnson's skill set. Jalen Johnson is a fantastic transition player. So I got to get a transition point guard who can get me a bucket, but not a better version of Trey Young, because I mean the better version of Trey Young is like the best point guard in the league. I got to get a guy who can defend. Okay, I got to get wing defenders. So I'm building around. If he's my guy, I'm building around his specific. I'm building around his specific skill set, as opposed to I'm just getting the best players. Well, if I'm just throwing stuff against the wall to see what works, well, eventually I'm going to come up with a problem. Even though it might be a good problem, I'm still going to come up with a problem of, okay, how do I use this with this, and how do I use this with this? As opposed, Ox, to I know I got this much sugar, and that's all I need. I need this much oregano. Okay, I need this much salt. I need this much. I need this much Lowry's, and I got it. I don't have to. I got a whole bunch of sugar over here and a whole bunch of. Now I already have what I need, and now we can just put this meal together.
But chill though. How many times do you have to make this meal and be unsuccessful making this meal before you're just like, damn, this meal, I'm gonna go cook something else. I'm gonna either try a new recipe or I'm gonna fall back on something that has worked in the past.
Building a unit is hard, Ron. It is. Building a unit is hard, and there's plenty of teams who get it wrong, and they just gotta scrap it. And blowing it up, a lot of times, blowing it up isn't the idea. I mean, isn't the final solution. There's a lot of times when you have something here, and like we don't have to blow this up. Like I keep hearing people tell me that the Brooklyn Nets are looking to trade MPJ. No, they're not. No, they are not. They have a base player. They got a base player, they got a floor player, and they building around that. So no, we do not have to blow this thing up. You have something here where we can build around. We don't have to completely wreck this whole thing. And in Atlanta, you got 2 young stars in both Dyson Daniels and Jalen Johnson, who have a particular skill set that's great in today's game. Great transition players, great athletes, and one of them is an awesome defender, and we can build around that.
They got to give Jalen Johnson some type of rim protector.
This is not a good team. Like, okay, I'm looking
there though too.
I'm looking at every single player.
Remember that
every single player on this team is a net negative on the court. Like, and I mean this analytically, purely from the numbers perspective. Obviously, my eye test tells me that certain players are more talented than others. It's not like Dyson's been some amazing defender this year. He had this amazing year last year. He's a good defender. He will be a good defender again, I'm sure. But it's not like he's been amazing this year. You're not getting positive synergy. Do you realize there's one player who plays substantial minutes for this team who is actually a net positive, which is to say the offense is better, the defense is better with him on the court, and that's Mohamed Gay. That's it. That's the only player. He's 450 minutes. He's plus 5.2 net rating. Everybody else is negative. Everybody. Trey Young, Jalen Johnson, all of them. Every single player. That's what happens when you have a bad team.
Pen? I mean, I think he's averaging. I think he's averaging less than 20 minutes a game, if I'm not mistaken. Because, like I said, I've watched a couple of. I watch Atlanta, and I think he plays less than 20 minutes a game. So my question to you is: should he be playing more? This is a 2-part question. Should he be playing more? And if he does play more, are we going to see more of his deficiencies? And will that be a problem?
Yeah. I mean, you will see more of his deficiencies, but he's 23. And I
Right.
mean, what does he do well? Based on what you've seen, what does he actually do well?
He's a great corner three shooter. He can knock down the corner three. Absolutely. And I think he's great around the rim as a finisher. I really like that about him.
Cool. So I think these players should be facsimiles for what you need to target in a Trey Young trade. What you need is a better version of him, and hopefully with a better version of him, you can actually slot him into your starting lineup and you can unlock the whole thing. Because you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? You don't want to be like, okay, Jalen Johnson sucks, let's just trade him. Because maybe he doesn't suck. Maybe he's awesome, and what we need is like one more piece to make him permanently awesome.
I think
I believe there's a silver lining in this whole thing. Go ahead, MTL. Go ahead.
I was just saying that I think they need to upgrade at either the small forward or center position. I think one of those probably could do a major change with this roster. I think they have a lot of good pieces. I just don't think a lot of their good pieces fit. I think that's why they're so bad defensively, even though they have good defensive players on the team.
So did it take longer to supplement the Capella issue? Because Capella hasn't been good for them for years. And then when they finally moved off of him, did it now like get amplified that, we really need a 5-man? Because Porzingis was supposed to be it, only Porzingis hasn't been. So does that now amplify how bad they've been at the 5 spot over the last like 2 or 3 years?
Can we acknowledge that Kristaps Porzingis in the 13 games that he has played has been freaking awesome for this team, though?
He's been awesome. He
Yeah,
just hasn't been available.
That's a big thing for them.
He just hasn't been available. That's the problem.
This team might look completely different. We might not even be having these discussions if Porzingis is healthy.
Yeah,
Let's be honest though. We knew he wasn't going to be healthy. He wasn't even healthy on the Celtics, and they didn't even need him to play like that, and he still couldn't play.
I thought whatever issue was, I thought it was over. I didn't realize that he was that sick. Ron, he's got this issue as a big guy where like he could pass out and just fall over because it's a respiratory issue. Yeah, he could just pass.
Sounds like
something you should retire. I agree. We don't need to see another one of them situations happen again.
For real, Ox. That ain't no nonsense. That's real talk.
Basketball is not worth your life, kid. Time to call.
And he's been in the league for 12 years. It ain't like he's been in the league for like 2 or 3. He's been in the league for 12. He showed up in 13. I want to say 13 or 14. He showed up, something like that. So won the NBA championship. Yeah. I made plenty of money.
15.
What I'm still doing this for?
And he showed up in 15 and 16.
Okay, so he showed up in 15. So 10 years. All right, what I'm still doing this for? I don't have to keep doing this. I got plenty of dough. Plenty.
Yeah, well, once again, I believe there's a silver lining in this whole thing with Atlanta. Whether they make a trade, whether they don't make a trade, I don't believe that they're going to blow it up. Them blowing it up would be trading Trey Young and Jalen Johnson. I don't think they do that. I just think that they retool.
It's the panel. Religion get built on cam. Where the check throw smoke and the hoes go ham. You ain't never seen hoops all hit the raw. Every take got weight, every night we drop. This that barbershop. Courtside, worldwide tone. Welcome to the only show that really feel like numbers jumping like the score.